Look, it's a flood.
The flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
That sponsorship, which we will never have.
We will never get. Dude, I'm really trying to like reverse psychology my way into this NPR sponsorship. Like,
That'd be pretty great if we ended up finding a way to actually get it somehow.
I just like maybe like the first like podcast Tiny Desk concert where we have DJ Jam spin as we just do a fucking episode of the flood, right? Like that would be fire, wouldn't it? That would totally be fire. Also, Tiny Desk concerts are totally fire.
Tiny Desk concerts are pretty sweet. I mean, like, tiny podcast
concerts? God damn it, dude. Why do we not have, like, why? Hi, NPR. Listen, I know we be wildin' a lot, right?
I know we have a love and hate relationship,
right? Like, it's more of like a love and barely notice relationship because I appreciate the work that NPR does.
You smell different when you're awake.
However, I really want you to stop ignoring us because
Baby, come back!
what you guys really need is an injection of some attitude, right? Like, NPR needs to go MTV. And the flood with Doc and Ziggy would be the perfect way to do that.
Because we got some attitude. We got some fucking attitude.
You might
Can't
say.
believe what you said to me. I got some attitude.
You might say the levels of attitude are rising up, just like the Blitzkrieg, in with the quickness.
Crashing through.
This is Doc
And Ziggy.
with the flood here, making a plea to NPR and a Nazi reference all in the same opener. That is our pop perspective.
We know you love those World War II docs, NPR.
Putting culture in context.
Make the mainstream make sense, because if we do not make sense, we
Don't
make
kind of like NPR. Which is why, you know, they're always doing fundraiser drives, and I'm just saying you wouldn't have to do that.
Do you think NPR survives day one of Trump 2.0? The one day he's gonna be a dictator. Just the one day.
Listen, I'm just saying if you bring Doc and Ziggy on before that, we could definitely make sure that doesn't happen for y'all, right? That's all I'm saying, because like
We'll call Lox, we'll call Wu-Tang, we'll call G-Unit. We'll call all of the great sages out of Oakland, and the Capitol will never fall.
Man, I am hype for this holiday season, despite the encroaching, or as the economists would like to have you believe, the encroaching inflation. I mean, I'm definitely feeling the economic inflation. I don't know about you, but Christmas shopping has been hard on the pocket. I mean, it ain't been that hard on the pockets, right? But I'm definitely looking for them Black Friday sales.
Dog, I graduate college in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
Oh, you looking at that job market, huh? Could have told you not to do that.
Yeah, it's the whole after college thing hasn't really sunk in yet.
How has it not? I love it when people say stuff like that, because I'm like, what have you niggas been doing this whole time, right? Like, what have we been doing this for?
It's
right, like
having applied
the
for
experience?
the types of jobs that I want to look for. Like, my resume literally wouldn't get a second look, despite how good it is, and how good it looks, and it looks great.
I mean, as somebody who is currently trying to, transition jobs, trust me, I feel you. Currently trying to transition jobs with no real college experience on my resume, right? It's quite a stopper in the job market at this point in time. I'm sure lots of our listeners might, agree or identify with that a little bit. It's kind of having a college degree is like having a high school diploma on your job, your resume now, right? Like back in the 90s, like you couldn't get a job without that or a GED, and nowadays having a bachelor's is like a fucking requirement. Like,
Yeah.
for most entry level, but that and also 10 years experience, right? You know, you gotta have 10 years
This
experience.
is where it feels weird for me because I look at those now and I'm like,
That's a joke, but
holy
it's not a
shit,
joke,
I
right?
actually am qualified.
It's a joke, but it's not a joke because, you know, lots of these entry-level positions do require you to come in at very, very minimum base rate, but also demand that you have, like, expert level experience upon beginning the job.
Yeah.
Which is, like, weird. Where do you guys find those people? Because the positions consistently get filled, right? And that's where lots of people get into the conspiracy theory of nepotism, right?
The one thing that I would say right now is based off
Is
the
nepotism
two
a
jobs
conspiracy
that I'm
theory?
specifically looking at the pay range. Probably gives them the leeway to be like, oh, you're a newbie, you're gonna get this amount. Oh, you have more experience, you're gonna get this amount, which is the same position but still substantially higher than that person would have got.
Yeah, I mean, I hear from a lot of people who have the experience that they're still not even getting what their experience dictates, right? Like, you know, that would they would necessarily be accredited to otherwise. These companies are still lowballing people and still demanding the most optimum work level, right?
Oh, I'm gonna make the dankest memes. Are you kidding me?
I mean, be prepared to sweat it out in them post shops, dog. Like, I'm just telling you, you already know what kind of work this social media
There
grind
we went.
is.
Yeah, well, I mean, the job I told you about is it varies from 68 to 108, so there's definitely room for negotiation.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that though, player. I got my hopes up for you because, like I said, right now it is not a good time to get caught without some income. Fucking landlords all over are, you know, winning these cases against their tenants that were holding out on the rent strikes, you know, since COVID, because that's actually still going on in a lot of places because people can't. I mean, fucking rent is like what, 3/4 of most people's income at this point.
Yeah, it's something retarded.
Lots of people can't even rent the basement apartments out anymore. I remember when that started to become a thing, and I remember being much more alarmed about that than I feel like a lot of people were, like, because I was house hunting around that time, right? And I kept seeing people charging, like, what you would expect to get, like, a one-bedroom apartment for, like, a studio apartment for their basements. And I'm like, is that where housing is at? And that's not disturbing to anybody?
It's like, what do you do for a job? Are you, like, how are you not making bank as a basket weaver?
That was 2019, right? Like, that was in 2019 when I feel like that the basement apartment boom really hit its peak bubble, right? But that was also, I feel like, a sign of the times. And now, yeah, like a one bedroom fucking apartment is no less than $1,400 in a lot of places, dude. And I'm like, fucking, where do you think people are working? Some motherfuckers still work for Chick-fil-A, dog, and like I know McDonald's is paying like $14 an hour starting in a lot of places now, right? But even that's still like peanuts compared to what you really need to get an apartment out of this, or to like live sustainably, right? Like, to live sustainably, you need somewhere between $26 to $28 an hour at bare rate. Like, that's what I think that's what economists say minimum wage should be at this point.
In a much less darker tone,
welcome to the Doomer
we like to
Cast.
start our show
With a little bit of doom and gloom.
after that.
Oh,
after
you-
we're done stealing John Oliver's thing.
Or you so after pleading for an NPR sponsorship
And
and
then
then
doom and
proceeding to Doom post.
Using the word retarded multiple times.
Did we use retarded?
I did.
Oh,
I'll have to edit that.
there goes that NPR sponsorship.
Yep.
After that, we like to remind you all what you all have been listening to this week. Once we figure out what you all have been listening
And
to
this week's hit on the algorithm is... Take a guess, you're not gonna get it.
Is it Mariah Carey?
Nope.
It's not Mariah Carey. This
It is
close to
Rockin'
Christmas?
Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda
What?
Lee.
What? That's number one on the.
That is number one on the Billboard
Oh, okay. I see you guys. I see y'all out there. In the holiday spirit, and also
Jingle Bell Rock. Fuck.
also try rocking around the Christmas tree. Come on, get it together. Get it together, Ziggy. Jesus, come on. I know one of your faves got a rocking around the Christmas tree cover, right? If it ain't Prince, then it's
Mariah's number 2.
Come on.
Mariah's number 2.
The queen, she's literally the snow queen, right? Like, she's got to be like the snow queen,
The Ice Queen.
the ice
They
queen.
like, she's so much the Ice Queen that she's like, no, you will keep me around for New Year's Eve, damn it.
Yeah. Yes, I will perform All I Want for Christmas on New Year's Eve to remind you all that I will be back. She's like Frosty the Snowman at this point, right? Mariah the Ice Queen.
It's like drilled into my head the image of her doing and this might even be a Mandela effect, but her doing the ball drop in Times Square with Psy doing Gangnam Style.
No, that was, oh god, what year was that?
2012.
Like 2012? Yeah, that was a weird time, dude. Like, I should have known when 2012 was such a weird, like, that was setting the tone.
Let's put
Like,
this into perspective for everybody. Gangnam Style was the first YouTube video to ever get a
billion views.
That took a long time.
And it
The
kind of,
GTA trailer already has over, what, 300 million?
yeah,
It's been out 3 days?
I feel like that really legitimized YouTube, right? Like, once something went that viral and YouTube became like the source for like viewing that viral content, it really, that's when like advertisers were like, oh, okay, this might be the wave, right? Like, because even before then you had like the creator wave and all that stuff,
Yeah.
the big maker studios and stuff, but that was like the beginning of the industry. Like, that size shit was like, oh, okay, people are like actually on here
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, and shit ain't been the same since. Right? Like, fucking people been chasing that goddamn dragon. What do you think was the most viral moment to happen this year as we're rounding out the year?
OceanGate.
OceanGate? Oh,
The sub.
yeah. No,
sub.
that's why I said because the sub, right? Like, it wasn't the slap.
The slap wasn't this year.
That wasn't this year.
The slap was last year, 2 years ago.
The slap was 2 years
No,
ago?
I think the slap was last year. The slap was definitely the most viral moment from that year, though.
Yeah.
But I think this year it's probably Ocean. Maybe George Santos, just as a whole. But I would say George as.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It was March. I'm tripping. I'm bugging. That was March of 2022. So that wasn't even like towards the end of the year. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's got to be OceanGate.
Queen dying. But I mean, like, as far as like single, we went through this. I think it would have to single memed moments. It would either have to be OceanGate or the Alabama Riverboat Brawl.
Oh yeah, that was a big one too. Damn, right. I'm trying to think, were there any special Trump moments that happened this year other than him getting censured? Not censured, but
Gag order.
yeah, the
3
gag
times.
order.
Indicted 4 times.
Yeah.
We forgot he actually settled in that civil trial.
Does Israel Hamas count?
That's not a viral moment.
I mean, is it not though? By definition. Viral
Don't make
moments.
the joke, Dan. Don't make the joke, Dan. Don't make the... It's a trigger moment. That's for sure. Damn it. Do that one fucking job, man.
There goes the NPR sponsorship. Alabama Riverboat Brawl is definitely a top contender, though. I mean, you guys let us know what y'all think is the most viral moment of the year as we round things out. I mean, we still have a couple of weeks here, so there's definitely room for a surprise. I was gonna say a surprise attack, but that felt very ominous. Don't want to, especially after
Ominous?
talking. Hey, Ted. Ted the Pet.
Hi, Ted. So I had to do another one of those like Spanish 3D adventure games that I was telling you about.
Oh, for your class?
Yeah, for my class. It was a lot more benign. They dropped me off in Colombia. In Colombia.
Colombia.
And in this town where I was still playing as Victor.
Shout out to Victor.
And all I had to do was like go find something to eat and then get a present and then listen to some music and tip a musician. It was a lot less eventful than the fucking ghost peacock statue thing.
I am glad for you because, you know, it really seems like you've been having a time with that Spanish homework. You know, you've been struggling with it for a while, just like Grand Theft Auto fans were struggling for any kind of just scrapes of what the next series was gonna look like, right? And we finally got a taste of what the next installment of Grand Theft Auto was gonna look like. The Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropped this week, and boy, as Zig stated earlier, it has made the rounds. It is currently sitting at, hold on, give me a second.
If you haven't seen it,
it's on YouTube. Go look at it.
Go to YouTube. It's there. Like, probably as soon as you open the website.
The Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer is currently sitting at 123 million views after just being uploaded 3 days ago, currently as of the time recording. It's already causing quite a stir. Conservatives and
Alpha Bros
are super upset that one of the rumors has been confirmed, and it seems like Grand Theft Auto has its first female protagonist in Lucia, a Latina from Miami who was doing
Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City. My bad. I said Miami because oh boy, that trailer. But as we'll get into that. Who was done doing time in prison after, you know, serving a stint for being into prostitution and drug running, and is now on her way back to make amends and close some ties, right? Not much other than that has been revealed, other than the fact that she will be partnering up with her lover boy in a Bonnie and Clyde style run through Vice City, which I think is confirmation that we will have the gender switch co-op play going on here, right? You will get to switch between the two characters, both the boyfriend and Lucia, but the main story is being driven through Lucia, which I believe is I think
Oh
that
shit, Lucia was the name of the girl character in the Spanish games? Yo, I was playing a GTA 6 trailer!
oh my god. Anyway, the same way that the main story is told through Franklin in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? So they are continuing that trend, but the city, the environment, the landscape, all of that looks amazing. Grand Theft Auto is stepping into what I feel like is Sims territory with the way that their NPCs look, and they really spent these last, oh my god, has it been 15 years? No, it's not been 15 years.
GTA 5 is not that old.
I don't know, dude.
I mean, it's not new by any means anymore.
Hold on, Grand Theft Auto 5. 2013. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013.
Shit.
So it's been 10 years. They spent, and Rockstar has spent those last 10 years thoroughly scraping through and observing Florida culture. with a fine-tooth
I made a
comb.
joke earlier this week. I was like, I think the reason GTA 6 has taken so long to make is because the world kept doing more fucked up and ridiculous shit that Rockstar was like, okay, we have to parody this.
Yeah, dude, like, oh my god, dog.
Like, they probably could have released GTA 6 in, like, 2018, and then they saw Trump get elected, and they're like, world's gonna change.
Yeah, I once again that the Grand Theft Auto trailer is like a shot-for-shot remake of some of the most trending Florida moments of all time, dog. Yeah. Like you can literally go on YouTube right now and see the side-by-side comparison, and it looks really great. It will not be dropping until 2025. Who knows around what time, right? Knowing Rockstar.
The trailer scrape people conspiracy are like it's gonna be like April. Because in that one scene where there's numbers all around the thing, they have 6 numbers that line up to the trailer release date, and then some other numbers that line up to a potential date in the 25th. Yeah, so but we're probably all just gonna get shafted, and it's gonna be holiday.
Well, I mean, I feel like, especially with a lot of the controversy that's been going on inside of these studios as far as like work demand and like work environment goes, the debacle behind the release of games like Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky and all of that, Rockstar is definitely, I mean, Grand Theft Auto is their baby, right? Like, Red Dead Redemption is like their passion project, but like, Grand Theft Auto is their baby. There's no way they are going to let the decade-long release, not even decades-long, because like I said, by the time it comes out, it'll be like 12 years.
They don't get the privilege to make Red Dead without GTA existing.
Yeah, no, it is a cultural cornerstone at this point, right? It is one of the most infamous games of all time, if not...
it's gotta be the most
infamous game of all time, right? Like,
even if it's not the most heinous game, it's the most infamous.
It's definitely top 5 of all time, right? Like, it's top 5 game of all time. It's like, what, Super Mario, Tetris, Sonic the Hedgehog, Pong, Grand Theft Auto.
You just want to do top 5, like, video games ever? Or franchises?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, no, if we were in the future observing a history book of video games, I'm sure like the first 5 games that would be listed would be somewhere around Super Mario, Tetris, Pong, Sonic the Hedgehog, Grand Theft Auto.
You're forgetting Madden?
No.
Yeah.
No, I really don't think as far as video games are concerned. No, I'm sorry. Like, as far as video games are concerned, like, if we're in the macro perspective of the future, if you want to describe what a video game is like to a person, right, like, those would probably be one of the 5 games that you would list that would be ubiquitously known video games, right? Like, Madden, yes, Madden is a sport attached to, like, a sports icon, right? So, but if you want the most recognized sports game, it's gonna be FIFA, first of all. It's not gonna be Madden.
Globally, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, if globally you're trying to describe video games to somebody in 2135, right? You would. I'm telling you, Grand Theft Auto, Pong, maybe Sonic the Hedgehog. I threw that one in there on, like, bias, right? That's because that was mine growing up. But Super Mario is definitely in there.
If I was gonna come up with like a timeline of video games,
I mean, maybe there's no fighting game in there, right?
I was about to say, I'd probably say Super Mario World.
I would substitute Mortal Kombat for Sonic the Hedgehog, right? If like a fighting game gets remembered throughout history, because remember, Nintendo doesn't think that Super Smash Brothers is a fighting game, it would be Mortal Kombat. Like, the fighting game to rule all fighting games.
I'd say Street Fighter.
I feel like Street Fighter is up there as a contestant, right? But, like, as far as brand recognition goes, I think more people now, especially, like, the younger generation, are probably drawn to Mortal Kombat than, like, the last Mortal Kombat did more numbers than the Street Fighter game release did.
The last Mortal Kombat got more press because of the terrible Switch port.
I don't think that was the only reason. Because the last Mortal Kombat was a complete, like, not retcon, but like
They went back to the origin.
yeah.
Like, the true origin. Like, Liu Kang isn't dead.
Yeah.
Unless Liu Kang time traveled.
Yeah. So according to Game Sensor, sales numbers 17. So Mortal Kombat 1 did almost 17 million in revenue in the first 10 days. I can't find the actual sales numbers for Street Fighter 6, but it looks like it did really well too. So, like I said, as far as fighting games are concerned, one of those two. And yeah, I guess if we had to include a sports game, though, it would be FIFA.
And like Halo 2.
Yeah, Halo. I guess no. If we had to include a shooter, it would be Doom because you can run Doom on anything. At the end of the world, it will be cockroaches and Doom.
And Twinkies.
Cockroaches, Twinkies, and Doom. Right?
A fucking 8-year-old's dream.
Cockroaches.
Give them a magnifying glass. They'll be fine.
Good source of protein, right? You know, to balance out all those Twinkies. Ugh. Oh, God.
You think those cockroaches can program Dude? Onto the Twinkies?
Yeah, onto the Twinkies. I feel like if I had to be a science nerd about this, it would be easier to program Doom onto the cockroaches than it would be the
Because
Twinkies.
you technically can program it onto crabs.
God.
Theoretically.
God. Ah, God, science is weird. Science is weird, and then people,
That is right. There's a video that says, this is a theory, that if you, link enough crabs together, they generate electricity that you can use to program, to run Doom. Like, it's an insurmountable large amount of crabs. But
Which exists, if you've ever seen the Christmas Island, Crab March. Have you ever seen that shit?
no.
Oh my God, hold on. Just for
Are they crab people?
Hold on.
They look like crab, but talk like people?
No.
Walk like people?
Yeah, so it's during the breeding season, they come out of in the same, almost the way cicadas, but times 4. So how cicada season is, but every year, and they're on the ground, and it's a bunch of look at all the little baby crabs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they're all over the island, and they guck up the road. Yeah, the great red crab migration, dog. Them bitches, they all in people's yards and shit. Is going to work.
By the way, I don't think the cicadas this time around were nearly as bad as they were the last time.
Yeah, you know who else feels that way? A bunch of climate change scientists. They've been saying for years now that there's a huge bug extinction going on that nobody is talking about because they're bugs and everybody hates bugs, but it's actually a pretty big problem because bugs are a source of food for lots of other animals, which is just a continuing trend into the doomerism that is our current state of existence. But bugs are dying out year by year.
Because I remember in middle school during cicada summer, it was legit crunch, 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 crunch while walking.
Yeah, no, dude. I remember going to Marley Creek and seeing them shits, just the whole top of the layer of the creek just covered in dead cicadas, dude. It was gross. Just how I wonder if red crab tastes good, right? Because that's got to be crazy free eating, right?
Yeah, Marylanders probably see that. And we're just
yes, as a Marylander, I'm looking at all of those crabs, and I'm just dude, do you know how geeked I would be?
I would eat all of them.
If I woke up in the morning and, have any of our listeners ever had red crab before? Let us know. Have you ever been to Christmas Island and seen the red crab migration? I would love to know what that's like in person, right? How annoying is it? Did they get in your house?
While we're talking about crabs, do you know when or how that you learned how to crack a crab?
I know it was within the 5 to 10 range, right? Ages 5 to 10. I feel
taught you?
a hodgepodge of family members. I feel like that was one of the tribe raises the child kind of events.
Yeah, the thing is...
Nah, you gotta do it this way. Nah, don't have him do it that way. It's gonna take him forever, you know? He's a little boy. He can't do it. He hungry. He wanna... No, baby, you gotta do it like this.
Like, for me, it was like, I don't know who taught me how to pick a crab. I just
everybody.
I
And
feel
then
like everybody in Maryland just, like...
And you learn by watching, too, right? Like, you like, oh, damn, he got
We
a
look
lot
like
of...
absolute savages to people from outside of our state.
He got a lot of meat when he opened the crab like that. And then you learn to use the claw, right, to open up the bottom and shit. Like,
you only need to use the claw if you scrub.
We talking about starting out, dog, right? Like, I'm saying...
I mean, like, if you're a real pro, you don't even have to dig into the crab. You just pull everything out through the legs.
Yeah.
But you gotta be real skilled.
It also depends on the fucking crab, too, right? Like, because you definitely... I know you've gone for a pull, right? And then
it just all gets stuck in there.
It's
And then the
that
next thing
fin.
you know,
it's that little clear, like, what is that, the ligament fin or whatever that you pull out, and it's like, now you gotta, like, siphon that shit out.
There's a level of satisfaction that comes with eating crabs, though.
Pulling a full lump out, you like, oh, this is about to be a good butter.
People in Maryland, I feel like we are incapable of getting full while picking crabs. Like, by the time
you just get tired of picking crabs.
Yeah, by the time we would be full, we would have already fully digested the other crab at the beginning.
Because picking crabs is also an exercise, right?
Your fingers will hurt.
Yeah. No.
There's
which
no
is
way
why
your fingers are surviving that much vinegar, butter, Old Bay, and pointy objects.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind people who, like, you know, pick crabs with, like, gloves on and stuff like that. It does. I will say that you look weird, though. It's a weird...
Do you judge people more for using the hammer, or do you using the clamp cracker?
I don't judge either, like, because I'm like, bro, get your crab meat how you want to get... Because I don't want to put all the work in either.
Native Marylander.
I don't judge you because I don't want to put all that damn work in either. Like, I just give you more respect if you raw dog it like that, right? I'm like, oh, okay.
Is there a certain point where if they keep using it, you're like, okay, dude, like if somebody...
Oh my god, are we gatekeeping eating crabs, bro? Because I'm
we
over
live in
here.
Maryland. Fuck yes, we are.
No, I'm just like, that's how I can tell a native. When I see you going at it like a fucking, like, frontiersman with, like, your bare hands, right? And you just dunking that shit in that butter, right? And, yeah, no, listen. Then I'm like, oh, okay. That guy's
if
from
I see somebody
here.
pop open a crab like it's a soda can,
Yeah.
you're from Maryland.
Yeah.
Like...
And I'm like, if I see you got the hammer or the cracker, I'm like, oh yeah, that dude, he's gonna enjoy his crab, right? Like because what you want
he's gonna
is a full butter dunk.
Out of Maryland,
you want the full butter dunk. That's all I'm trying to say.
Watching somebody from outside Maryland as a Marylander eat crabs, it's like when you see somebody order chicken wings and they don't eat the whole wing, but they don't know that they don't eat the whole wing.
Yeah. I'm like. What a waste.
It's like
just get boneless. Just get nuggets. Just get nuggets.
There you
buddy.
go.
Just go ahead and get nuggets, buddy. Like I'm like if you don't know how to.
Okay, just order a crab cake.
Yeah,
that's our specialty too.
Yep, that's literally what I was about to say. Crab cake or crab dip. You can't go wrong if you don't want to pick your crab. If you've never seen the red crab migration on Christmas Island, go ahead and check it out. I don't know why it's called Christmas Island, but. Shout out to the holidays.
Yeah. How about we take a break?
So, as we close out, Zig and I are going to be taking a break for the next couple of weeks to spend the holiday with our families. And as you know, our graduate announced, he has finally completed his college circuit on hard mode.
Not yet, but we are.
I'm speaking it
Very
into
close.
existence. I mean, yeah, we are on the final stretch here, right? So,
like I said it in my set last night. You know, I've been stressed. I've been buried in research papers and textbooks, and Spanish homework.
And I mean,
It's
other
hard because
yeah.
it's literally a different language.
Right.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah,
and my
it-
Spanish professor
it's
got
all
mad
it's
and
a
took
Spanish.
that literally
It's Spanish,
and said that
actually.
it's actually a different language
'Cause
tree. And they said it's closer to Romanian. And then I said, look,
Is
why are
it?
you explaining algebra?
I guess so,
And
'cause
they
Roma
said,
is probably
but there's
closer to the
actually,
Latin
shut
quarter.
up, something. And I'm just like, what? And then they start yelling at me in Korean. And now I'm really confused.
Your Spanish teacher yelled at you in Korean?
My Spanish teacher is the Rosetta Stone.
That's so. She is a polyglot.
You know, like the Daleks in.
Do you know
Doctor
what
Who?
Do you know what a polyglot is?
It's a. I'm
Somebody who
multi-sided.
speaks more than I think 5 languages.
I mean, it's. I was thinking like Porygon at first.
No, yeah, a polyglot is somebody. Hold on, let me bing it. Okay, so just knowing or using several languages, right? There's no official amount of languages that you have to know in order to be a polyglot. So I guess if you know more than 1, you're a polyglot. Which most Americans are not. Just by ease of convenience. I argue a lot of the time, though, that
English,
Americans should know, like, a basic Spanish by now, right? Like, by now.
Un poquito.
Right, yeah, just enough to, like, get around if you accidentally found
Like
your way
present-
into
like,
Mexico.
Like present tense stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't
Mi nombre
have to- yeah.
is.
Collegiate
de
Spanish.
donde,
S, right?
yo necesito.
Cuando es.
Yeah.
Right.
¿Cuánto es un boleta para autobús?
Que
Like,
días hoy? Right? No, like, yes. I feel like most, especially Southern Americans, should have, like, a tertiary understanding of Spanish by this point. But no, instead we've gone completely in the opposite direction and, like, just claimed English as, you know, God's religion. And
it is the international language of air travel.
it's the international language of commerce, which is why Americans feel so fucking privileged, right? Like,
And fucking.
and fucking. Yes, we are lucky that it is currently the
So,
Premier-
Americans are cocky, and Britain is smug.
yes.
Okay.
And Canada is just
Happy to be here.
yeah.
Canada's just happy to be here.
I would say Canada is humble, Australia is happy to be here. Australia is like, yes, we are real. Yes, the animals are real, and yeah,
Yes, they are trying to kill you.
but we're enjoying it.
Please send help. Look, we have opera.
And drop bears. Listen.
Throwback deep cut. Kangaroo Jack. Overrated, underrated.
You mean the movie that started Anthony Anderson's career
And
and
Jason Bateman.
and his takeover of Bill Cosby? I like how Anthony Anderson kind of like Highlandered Bill Cosby and no one talks about it.
You mean Kaiser Kosane? Or
Yeah.
Kaiser Sose?
Yeah, Kaiser Sose. No one talks about it. Yeah, because I mean, I guess Hannibal came in and did the hit job, right? It was like, yeah, get this man out of the pocket. By the way, watch Blackish, right? And now he's out there running fucking, what was it, the cop show that
Man,
he was on?
I guess he would be Cosby, because I did learn things from Blackish.
I mean, Blackish is the new Cosby, is this generation's Cosby show, right? Like, it's like if you meshed the Cosby Show and Fresh Prince into one thing, or maybe like My Wife and Kids and the Cosby Show into one thing. Because let's not disrespect My Wife and Kids.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
it's like
My Wife and Kids, or Married with Children.
anything that's not Married with Children. I vehemently hate that show.
For real?
Yes.
Damn, I did not expect that from you.
The
Why?
best thing to come out of Married with Children is the voice acting career for Leela.
Damn, bro, what is it about Married with Children that you hate so much?
It's too...
It's too boomer humor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you like Roseanne?
No.
No, you don't like Roseanne either. Does that fall in the same category?
However, I will say her going, "Those were the days," is iconic.
What about Home Improvement?
Oh, Home Improvement's hilarious.
Oh, you think Home Improvement was hilarious? So you like Tim Allen, the fucking cocaine trafficker?
Wilson. Ooh, this is a conversation that I've wanted to have since we're going to do some evergreen topics later.
Wait, but did you know that recently his co-star... So, they rebooted the Santa Claus movie that Tim Allen was in as a TV series on Disney Plus called The Santa Clauses. And his co-star, Casey Wilson, came out just recently and said that working with 70-year-old Tim Allen was the worst, truly worst single experience she's ever had as a co-star, right? Saying that he wouldn't like speak to her directly and would like go to the producers and stuff like that and tell them to complain that he was like right in front of her. He would complain to producers right in front of her that she was stepping on his lines, and then the producers would sheepishly come over to her and be like, Tim is mad that you're stepping on his lines. It's like he's that guy. The article, the USA Today article I was reading this in, also went into detail about how in Pamela Anderson's recent memoir book, Love Pamela, she recalled her time working as Lisa, the Tool Time girl on Home Improvement.
Oh my god, I remember that!
Yeah. And apparently Tim Allen was a creep on that too, according
that doesn't
to...
surprise me, because there was a story that came out about him and his co-star wife on that show.
Yeah, she said, on the first day of filming, I walked out of my dressing room, and Tim was in the hallway in his robe, and he opened his robe and flashed me quickly, completely naked underneath. He said, it was only fair because he had seen me naked. Now we're even. I laughed uncomfortably. In all fairness to Tim Allen, Tim Allen went on to say that, no, it never happened. I would never do such a thing. Which, what else are you going to say other than, yeah, I did that shit. I was on a lot of coke at that time. Right? Like, I know your Catholic sensibility meter is like at a twinge right now, but I just thought it was funny because you were like, yeah, Home Improvement was the shit.
I'm
but
a big fan of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Also,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I'm a big fan of the work of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Also, Dave Chappelle, right? Because let's not forget Dave Chappelle was on Home Improvement
What?
as well. Yeah. Oh god, dude, what was Dave Chappelle's character's name? Dave Chappelle was like Tim's assistant on Tool Time in like the very beginning seasons.
What?
Yeah. No, oh, dude, you don't remember that? Yeah. Go back and watch it. Because, I mean, in all respect, here is one of those moments where we have to say we are fans of the work of Tim Allen and not the cocaine trafficking or the misogynistic ways of Tim Allen. Or the weird conservative views, right? Who would have imagined that a guy who got, bagged for trafficking cocaine in the 70s would be such a hardline conservative now? But
Tim Allen got busted trafficking blow?
Yeah, oh, dude, and it was like, hold on. I don't want to misquote this, right? Because Tim Allen seems like the kind of petty guy
who would find a fourth-rate podcast and not even NPR sponsorship?
1978. 650 grams or 1.4 pounds of cocaine in the Kalamazoo Battle Creek International Airport in October 2nd. Allegedly. Not allegedly because it's on the books. You can go and look this up. Here is his mugshot right there. He had that, 70s porn stash back then. Pure 1978, right? Enough mustache to get cocaine stuck in for later.
How old was he at the time?
Oh, dude, in his 20s, it says. And, you know, he'll probably say, like, you know, I've learned my lesson. That's why I'm such a hardline conservative. I hate how they pull that bullshit, right? Like, it's like, oh, I was wild in my day, so now I have to look at you, like, with on a fucking pedestal and be like, what a dumbass. Like, no. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. I'm sure it was the coke that made him pull his dick out in front of Pam, right? He was like, I can't resist the opportunity.
She'll only be here for 3 minutes. That's because time is moving way too fast for you right now, Tim.
Yeah, so moving on though. What else happened this week?
I don't know how much you have been following. The NBA put the drop.
He's on fire!
That's not the one I was thinking about. It's the
Oh.
Wii Fit music.
Sports beat.
Have you been keeping up anything with the NBA going on at all?
I have not, actually.
So,
I've been leaving the sports beat up to you.
Have you heard that they have been doing this thing called the in-season tournament?
No.
Yeah, so they have been doing, for the first time this year, it's called an in-season tournament where all of the games are considered regular season games, but they're set up into a bracket instead of just like regularly scheduled.
So they fantasy football, basketball before people could fantasy basketball?
No, they made regular season basketball still regular season basketball, but made people care about it.
By setting up a weird bracket system?
Yeah, because the 4 semifinalists get to go play in Vegas,
Okay.
which are still considered.
Are they gonna
regular
play at
season games.
the Vegas Bowl or whatever, the Dome? Probably, right? Like, you would, why would they
that
not?
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
And then they are the only game in the in-season tournament that has yet to have a name. I'm sure Adam Silver is putting all of his feelers out to try to be like, we need a name for this thing.
Washington Football Club.
The NBA Washington Football Club in-season tournament.
Hosted at the Las Vegas Superdome.
But the only game in the tournament that will not be considered a regular season game is the finals. And that will also be played in Las Vegas. And every player on the winning team, I believe, gets $1 million if they win.
Your theory is this is just to, like, spur interest in the regular season games
And
again,
to make,
right?
like, Adam Silver was interviewed recently. He says the only way this really works is if the players care.
Yeah.
And the players care. Like, I watched some of that Boston-Indiana game in which Boston lost because Tyrese Halliburton went off for, like, 31 and, like, 12 assists. Like,
Right.
it's cool because it gives the Pacers this, like, chance to play in games of consequence where if you're going to put them in 7 games in a row against the Celtics are going to beat them. Like, we're going to beat them 4 out of 7 games.
Right, so what makes you think that it gives the initiative, I guess, or the inspiration to play?
It gives, I mean, it's not the ultimate thing to win, but it's something to win. And
right, so
these
even
guys
if
are
I don't
competitive.
make it to the finals, right, then I at least, like, you know, beat
like
this
me
bracket.
as a card player, like, I will take my experience as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Just as of this moment, I actually know we have more Yu-Gi-Oh players that listen than Magic players.
Shout out to
our patrons in Rage Peacock.
And you could be a
And
patron
you can be
too
a patron too.
if you follow us at the Flood Pod on everything, and that is on everything. Shout out to the I Am Nerd gang, right? Everybody over here from I Am Nerd, we appreciate y'all.
I've gotten my Nationals invite for Yu-Gi-Oh! 4 times, and I've only went once. The only time I went was the first time I qualified in 2007.
Bro, throwback.
My dad got married for the next time I qualified, so the weekend of Nationals, so I couldn't go.
Damn, and he didn't go to the
tried.
tournament?
I tried. I was
Come
like,
on,
you can
Dad.
reschedule.
Yo, like, come
You
on.
don't need me there. You have 4 other kids.
It would be the perfect honeymoon, right? To watch me just completely, like, thrash on some noob, right? Just, like, go in there and send him into the dark zone, or what was it called?
The Shadow Realm.
Yeah, the Shadow Realm, which is not a real thing. That is just for American audiences.
It's actually just hell.
Just death. It's death. They were murking niggas with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Is what they were trying to hide from you on fucking PBS or on the WB Saturday morning. They was killing niggas.
I think the 4th
Seto
time
Kaiba
I
and them was
played-
running
The
fades.
4th time I qualified for nationals, it was at a Shonen Jump. I just got eliminated from the main event.
Hey, shout out to Shonen Jump though. Right?
Yeah, and it was there was a 16-person side event that you could enter, and the winner, single elimination, the winner got an invite to nationals. Yeah, it wasn't the Shonen Jump Championship, but I played my ass off to make sure I won that invite to nationals through that little side event.
Right.
Like, I didn't
mean,
win
those
the
is-
regional, but I won something.
Listen,
And that's kind of what the NBA in-season tournament, like, I feel like Adam Silver is looking at, because it's in soccer in Europe, there's a gazillion different cups to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I see what you're saying now, right? So it's kind of like introducing that kind of element
Yeah.
to basketball where it's like there's
it's not
other
the
things to
grand
compete
prize,
in. Right.
But, you
yeah.
know, it's, you know, if you're Indiana
Yeah.
and the Pacers win the first in-season tournament cup,
Yeah.
nobody's going to be able to say, like, the Pacers officially earned themselves to be an answer to a trivia question. Which NBA team won the first in-season tournament?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
The
something
Indiana
to achieve for even though you're not making the actual like the
And
Grand Prix.
Not every single player on an NBA roster
Yeah.
is making $50 million. There are some that are on, like, you know...
It would be like if
like
they gave
$4
out
million, that's still a lot of money, but like $4 million minimums, that's a 25% increase in their pay if they win.
Yeah, and it would be like if they gave out like division championships, right? Like
Yeah.
you know, you
Well,
might
I mean, they do, but nobody actually... I don't even know what
Acknowledge-
division,
right.
who's in what division.
Exactly.
Divisions literally do not matter in
No.
the NBA. They exist, but they don't matter.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, and it's almost like weird to take this tournament route instead of like, I guess, reinvigorating like the division standard, right? Where it's like, you know, you've got like East and West and all that, and like you could give awards for like the best on the East or the best on the West, but no, like instead we're just
I think basketball might be a weird case with how like impactful a single player is, and then you tie those teams up into divisions to where they have to beat up on.
and
each other
also
all the
now
time,
with
but-
like free agency and players being able to transfer teams in the middle of the season and shit like that, like what does like a division really mean? It's more individual player acknowledgement at this point, right? Or you would think it would be.
But it's also like, have you seen highlights with all of these like really cool looking courts?
No, I have not yet.
Uh,
Is it like a VR kind of, not like a
no,
VR,
like
an
the courts
AR
are
kind of
literally
thing?
designed like differently. Like instead of just a wood NBA court, like it'll be a bright blue with like graffiti and shit, like all of it. Like,
Oh, so they're trying to make them look like street courts.
like all sorts of different crazy different
Yeah.
courts. I think even you shared with me. I think you shared with me that the LA Rams are going to be sponsored by One Piece for a day.
Yeah. But yeah, no, apparently in NFL history, One Piece is doing a monumental partnership with the LA Rams, where they will be sponsoring a... Hold on.
I feel like all 29 other NFL franchises are now like, wait, motherfucker, we could have done that? That's allowed?
Right. Who do you think is getting Dragon Ball Z? Because this will not just be the last, right?
Oh, I'll tell you one that's a goddamn lockup. New York Giants are getting Attack on Titan.
Oh, they better. Like, why
Like,
would
the
they
New York
not?
Giants better get Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that would be an absolute failure if they didn't.
Like, who do the Patriots get? Spy Family? The Vikings get Vinland Saga.
Yeah, no, the Post doesn't.
The Cowboys get Cowboy Bebop.
The Post doesn't have any more information than that. What exactly the partnership entails. So I'm sure there will be some kind of like merchandise matchup.
Straw hat, everybody who walks in the door.
The uniforms will probably be like, littered with One Piece references and stuff like that.
I think my guess is the helmet is going to be the like One Piece logo in the Rams helmet like they had on the thing.
Yeah, some kind of way. It seems like a cool idea, right?
My money is on the Rams over, because I guarantee you there is a more than 10% of that team that watches One Piece, and they will refuse to lose wearing the gear of Nakama.
It does make me wonder, like, how this deal came about. Like, whose idea was this?
Oh, this is 100% some genius in the Rams marketing department that just said, like, have y'all ever thought about, like, calling Japan?
Like, partner in the anime partnership?
With an anime? Like,
Yeah.
like literally...
I'm sure there's a crossover.
So there was probably, like, we'll put it as 12 angry men in a room, right?
And one of them is Weeb.
One of them goes, have y'all ever thought about just, like, partnering with an anime? And the other 11 are all like,
what the fuck is an anime?
We already had just determined that we were going to go in partnership with Gator Powerade Esteem Thine.
Yeah, because they're like, what the fuck is an anime?
There's like a lot of people that watch anime, and then 10 people are like, that sounds dumb. And then one guy is like, you know what, man, let's hear him out. And then that one man stands on his pedestal and weebs to the best of his abilities, and eventually converts everybody to Nakama.
If you had to pick an anime to show Roger Goodell, what anime would it be?
Cowboy Bebop. No, I think the ultimate starter anime
is for a boomer.
All right, so for starters, the idea of anything that appeals to, quote, an American is ridiculous.
Even though anime is very, like, Euro obsessed, right? Like, so my question is do you think Roger Goodell sat down and watched One Piece? I was like, yeah, no, this is a good idea. Absolutely. Who's the owner of the Rams?
No, here's how this went. Honey! Yeah, what? You got a letter! Who's it from? Dad! Look at this letter's from! What? Who is this? It says order! Order! What?
Look at Stan. What is it, Stan Kroenke? Like, yeah, this is the owner of the fucking LA Rams, bro.
Oh,
like,
the Crankies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they own like multiple sports franchises.
Okay, all right, right.
Like they're actually.
So it's Cranky.
The Cranky family's actually pretty.
Oh
big.
yeah, they own Arsenal?
Yeah, I think they own like multiple franchises.
Yeah. No, I get it. So, do you think that guy? No, this guy looks like he watched One Piece. I feel like he was like, "Ooh, what's that?" Yeah, no, that guy looks cool. He looks wacky.
Yeah, no, like he looks like the dude who the son would have came over and be like, "Dad, do you see what this says? Order! And the dad's like, "Well, son, let me see. Just take a sit on my lap here."
Nope, that's not how it happened, bro. They was watching fucking One Piece on Netflix, and his son was like, "Yo, you know what would be tight? You know what would be tight if you made like if you made the team wear like One Piece gear and stuff like that." And he was like, "Well, you know, it is making big money on Netflix, right?"
So this is one of the cool things I think. So like, I know everybody, it's easy to shit on franchising stuff.
I mean, an official
the
crossover.
people who are One Piece fans on the Rams, and there are One Piece fans on the Rams, because
that's what I said. The crossover has to be there, right?
Because
like,
at this point, if you put 10 people in a room, one of them probably a One Piece fan.
I was gonna say, or watches anime,
Yeah.
right? At least.
Like the people that are on the Rams that are One Piece fans are going to be so fired up for that game.
So, I mean, this is a pretty monumental moment happening here. It is the first anime NFL crossover collaboration.
This almost feels like seriously, like the other 31 NFL teams are probably like, shit, why didn't we think of this?
I mean, it's kind of a legitimizing moment for anime. Not that anime needed any more of a legitimizing, like, in the industry.
It still does, but that's another discussion another time.
But speaking of big moments this year, I know you wanted to do a year-end wrap-up, right? As we are closing out the last couple of weeks in December and we're getting ready to go on break here at the Flood Pod, we kind of wanted to take a look back and see what some of the biggest moments of this year that weren't Israel Hamas were.
Yo, OceanGate was hilarious.
You mean the implosion of
That
billionaires
was so
who were
fucking funny.
dumb enough to get in a fucking DIY tank?
I have not seen so much James Cameron in such a short period of time in my entire life.
OceanGate was one of the moments that was pure, I feel like pure 2023 in the, like, fuck around. If 2023 was the year of fuck around and find out,
And
right?
AI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, AI is pretty much fuck
A lot
around
of
and
fuck
fire
around.
and find out. Yeah. AI was definitely the it girl of the year. Stealing Trump's shine in a way that I don't think, you know,
Have you heard
even he
about
was ready
the
for.
word of the year debate?
I know we did a segment on words being introduced into the dictionary this year, but what is the word of the
The
year?
Webster's dictionary word of the year is authentic. The Oxford word of the year is Riz.
I feel like Riz is probably, like, it's like one of them got a Grammy, the other one is like, you know, the
Got a
street
country music award?
anthem. No, I was gonna say is the street anthem.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
is the one that's been playing in the clubs, right? One of them gets a Grammy, the other one's got the streams popping, right? So... Yeah, no, authentic, I feel like, especially because we are living in the age where authenticity is increasingly increasingly becoming scarce. It's going extinct, right? Like with AI and online anonymity, right? The call for transparency has actually created more mirages than anything, right? I mean, that's my hot take.
No one can be authentic online when producing content by themselves, because the idea of producing content inherently gives the creator the framing of producing what they want to portray, and therefore nothing can be deemed as authentic because the bad is never given the light of day.
Okay, Nietzsche. I feel like that argument is assuming that everything online is content now, which there is an argument to be made, especially just recently. I can't remember who posted it, but it's something like a good 70 to 80% of the stuff online now is either self-promotional or promotional content. The amount of just like genuine user base has gone down significantly. I'm sure that has a lot to do with like the hustle culture and creator economy becoming more of a legitimate thing in the country.
This has also been a good year for video games.
Yes.
It's gotten me to play video games.
No, I mean, I fucked around and bought a PS5 and found out that it was worth the wait, right? It is
Tears
also
of the
worth the
Kingdom,
hype.
Fucking phenomenal.
God of War Ragnarok is great. The Elden
need to
Ring,
buy-
Baldur's Gate.
I need to buy, I do want to try Baldur's Gate eventually, but I want to buy the Mario RPG Super Mario RPG remake that
I want to
already
get
came out.
Yeah, Mario. What is it? The new Mario game that just came out too.
Nintendo's wild. They'll, like, nowadays, they're just announcing stuff, like, 3 months in advance. And then, like, all of these things, I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to that. And then it's like, it's already out. And I'm like, shit, is it? Like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
No, it's not Mario.
Like, I haven't even played Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mario Odyssey was the last one.
The newest Mario is a side-scroller.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder is the one that just came out this year. I'm trying to get my hands on that, but I'm waiting on them Christmas deals, baby. No, and I feel like there's some other games that came out this year too. That
Spider-Man, Baldur's Gate.
Yep, Spider-Man was the big one that I was thinking about. And then, as we said, Mortal Kombat.
It's like the three main ones that people were talking about were Baldur's Gate, Tears of the Kingdom,
Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk 2020.
the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah,
God,
no.
I can't believe, like, the Resident Evil 4 remake even snuck by me. Like, that's my favorite in the genre by far.
We are living in a good time for video games, right? Despite all the, whatchamacallit, the controversy going on at these studios, right? We've still got quite a bit of
I honestly,
good
I wanna play
My
more
bad.
video games. I want to get back to playing them more, but...
I mean, that requires a decent work-life balance that right now just doesn't seem capable with the current demand that
Life has for us.
Yeah, but I mean, outside of that, that was a big trend this year too, was like, really analyzing the work-life balance. The writer's strike was,
The summer of labor!
it really was a year with like a kind of like microscope, right, on like the labor movement in the United States.
Basically, humans going, hey, humans matter!
I mean, like, didn't the stripper union become a thing this year? Starbucks had those
Starbucks,
labor
the
strikes.
Union.
Auto workers union, right? Like,
Yeah.
we really this was like the year of strikes, right? And I don't think we are done. I really think that's like the tip of the iceberg, as far as that's concerned, because the focus going forward is going to be a focus on what the cut is for the the little guy here, right? Especially with the AI becoming an everly increasing driving force in industry in the moment. Like, everybody's trying to find a way to fit these AI and AGI systems into their overhead.
Can you imagine being called a scab as a stripper?
I mean, listen, but like, let's not pretend like they don't deserve some kind of organized voice, right? Like,
they absolutely do.
can you imagine being a scab as a stripper, right?
Yeah,
like stepping on the heels of like girls, like
Literally the
heels of girls like trying to fight for like better work environment for you, because like let's be real, like, even if you embrace like nudity and sexuality and all that stuff and you let your freak flag fly, the environment of a strip club can entice some of the skeevy people to some of the skeevy people. Like, some of the more skeevier
The whole
types.
thing is embracing, liberating yourself. Well, by doing that, you're
You
oppressing
should-
the people who are unionizing
Right,
and striking.
to do that for you, right? Like, it doesn't make it make sense, right? Like, make it make sense.
So the most offensive thing in the world is a stripper scab.
or an insurrectionist, or Playboy rapper billionaires who have been exposed as Cosby builds. Because let's not forget that, fucking late season drop, just to, keep everybody on their heels. We are currently in the midst of the empire of Bad Boy being taken down. I don't know if that 50 Cent documentary is like a real thing or not, but oh my god, if 50 actually makes a documentary...
What comes out earlier, the 50 documentary or Diddy?
Didn't. So what are some of the? Alabama Riverboat Brawl. Does McCarthy resigning from Congress before his term make it in there? Right, like, I feel like that's not really having a huge impact at the moment.
With
I feel like Congress being an
with
absolute
the circus music, just
yeah.
Bobert.
Yeah, all of
Santos.
it. Yeah, being the absolute circus performance that it was this year, right? Just encompass in general. Like, Congress makes it in there for just...
Including Bernie Sanders having to break up a fight from the Teamsters Union at the one guy.
Yeah, but not condemning Israel or calling for a ceasefire, though, which I have to say I'm kind of disappointed in Bernie for, to be completely honest. But, I mean... Nobody's infallible.
I mean, I will say pick your battles, but if anybody was to pick this battle, you would expect it to be Bernie.
Yeah, for Bernie to be like, yeah, no, maybe instead of Israel has the right to defend itself, being like, people have the right to live, right? Like,
yeah. We actually were having a interesting discussion in a social media class this past week about a really early troll effort about people on like Google groups for cats, and then a bunch of people invading the Google group for cats and uploading like mutilated cat pictures and everything, and they were like, so talk about free speech here, and I rose my hand and I was like, it was totally within their free speech rights to post those mutilated cat pictures.
Oh, that's the stance you took immediately,
but it was also a private server, and therefore totally within the rights of the moderators to take it down.
Yeah, and ban the posters, right? Because like that's not the kind of content we want here.
It's within their right to attempt to post it.
There you go. That's a good cover. Yeah, no, I feel like though we can't ignore the Diddy thing any longer, right? Especially considering it all started out with the arrest of Keefe D, right? Who
it started out with a hit. How could it end up like this? It was only a hit, just another hit.
Yeah. Speaking of hits, yeah, the arrest and quote unquote solving of Tupac's murder, right? You know, that will go down in the history books. I feel like is another. I feel like it had an impact, but I feel like, you know, it would have had more of an impact like 10 years ago.
So let's talk about music for a second. Like we said, this is the year that was dominated by country music.
Yes.
With the exception of Taylor.
Right.
And everybody's only going to remember Taylor because now she was voted Time Magazine's Taylor of the Taylor.
Her being person of the year is kind of wild to me. It's not Taylor hate, but let's not like pretend that Beyonce wasn't out here doing the same exact thing with Renaissance this entire time, movie and everything. So, but I guess we can't give all the awards to Beyonce. I do feel like
Beyonce will take a charged lemonade though.
Jesus. Let's not do that to Beyonce, right? Beyonce probably would not take a charged lemonade. I'm sure she is getting her juice fucking cold pressed.
She's getting anything however she wants it. She's Beyonce.
But this was the year of country music, though. We cannot ignore the fact that, like, summer was...
Despite the Grammys think that they can.
Right. Absolutely dominated by country music.
Gotta respect that check, Morgan Wallen.
And it was,
it's the fall.
I was gonna say, you know, and this is the first year in a long time that hip-hop hasn't really dominated the charts like that, even though this was the year that Drake broke the Billboard chart record of most #1 hits, beating Michael Jackson out.
We have the villain arcs of Drake.
You're right.
We have the villain arc of Usher. The villain arc of Doja Cat.
So, I mean, even though this year kind of, like, did slide through like a blitzkrieg, right, there were still quite a few moments that can't be forgotten. Do you have any other big ones that you wanted to...
Probably, but I can't remember anymore at the time right now.
And the fact that Zig is having a brain fog is just another example of how none of this
is normal. But
what
could
and should be
normalized
for you guys
is biasing
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, and other board game supplies at
TokenFG.com and using the promo code Ziggy to get 10% off of your order, and
following us at the Flood Pod on everything.
And that is on everything.
Especially if you want to keep up with us for the next couple of weeks. I would say about 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
2-3 episodes. We'll be back, but we will also be posting stand-up and other content on our socials. You know, you can find me at Signature Doc, and
you can find me at Ziggy Starscream.
And
by the time y'all will hear this, by the time you next hear from us, I will have gotten a really expensive piece of paper.
Hey, shout out to that expensive piece of paper, and shout out to y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful holiday season, whatever holiday y'all started. I know Hanukkah started the other day. Just to
Night.
shout out to Eli Wiesel. Shout out to Santa Claus. Shout out to Kwanzaa Bot. And I've been Signature Doc. It's your boy Ziggy. Deuces.
Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Star?
Time to